how can you use blended learning for presentation skills? I need to see the student coming in front and speaking. Then only I can really gauge what they're doing. If not, doesn't make sense to me, yeah? But what happened was I actually explored it, and I went and looked into what blended learning was all about and how I could incorporate it into presentation skills. So there's top 3 takeaways. Why top 3? Because we don't have much time, okay? So we're just focusing on 3 elements of what I thought was most useful about using this in my presentation skills class. This was for an MPU module, all right, presentation skills, and it incorporated like this faculty manual which had a lot of online learning inside of it. So you have to kind of cater it accordingly to your type of students. So I was teaching part-time UH students and the full-timers. And for their class, we used a lot of recording of voice, of videos. We used a lot of online assessments, okay? So I'll just take you one by one. The first one would be, oh yeah, I like to shake. Okay, so why? Why use the blended learning, and why and how it works for presentation skills, yeah? Okay, so one thing amazing about it is we always complain that we have a lot of work, right? You need more people, you need more hands. So what this does is you kind of get a co-faculty. So someone to give you a different point of view, like a different perspective. And who this is basically the camera, okay? So when you do presentation skills, you have someone actually recording it. So what the students do is, I give them a particular topic. I'll show you later. I'll put it on a discussion board, okay? And they go online and they record their presentation. So what happens when I say co-faculty is because when you use this, what happens is they actually can see themselves, okay? And why it works, I will show you as we go along. Okay, so one thing good about using this whole online video, okay, is we have this whole conception of how we are experts, right? Like presentation skills, I'm the expert, man. I'm not the student, okay? But what happens when you use blended learning is the expert and the learner becomes true of the same thing. So everyone basically becomes the expert and the learner, okay? Why? For example, a student records, have you ever recorded your voice before? Anyone? Yes. First time you recorded your voice, what you felt? Like, oh my god, right? I mean, it's not so bad. You know, I sound like a cartoon character, so it's not, I'm sure it's not so bad for you. So we sound different, right? Like, oh my god, I sound like this. Is this what I look like on video? You know, sometimes the first time I recorded myself, I was like an animation character, jump here, jump there, hyperactive, you know. So some students, what happens is they can actually see themselves in that camera, what's going on. Where is their hand going? Is it going here? Some students like to do this, for example. So they can actually see. Us sitting down and telling them about it is different from them seeing it themselves. So what it creates for them is what we will call self-awareness. They themselves see. It's like you're saying, you know, you're not doing this right. Maybe your voice energy is very low. You go like, okay, miss. Then you go back like, what does she mean by my voice energy is low? Alright? But if they see or they hear their voice, then they go like, okay, now I know what she meant. Okay? So I'm just going to show you some snapshots that I've used from Blackboard when I used for this particular class, this MPU class. So what you have is a right-hand man. So first what I did was I put a discussion topic on Blackboard, and students actually uploaded videos via Blackboard. So for example, this particular one is the trait of power of stories. So I want to kind of test what is their storytelling behaviors, what's their storytelling action. So I say, okay, tell me any story for this particular module. So what students did was they actually came up with different stories of different things. So Imran, I don't know if any of you from Subang. Anyone from Subang? No? Okay, this student is actually someone who works in Subang. He's also a part-time student. So just listen to his video.
It was an afternoon, that heavy rain. My mom was calling me, Imran, Imran, Imran. I woke up, opened the door, and saw my dad was holding his chest. So I rushed him to hospital. He was admitted to CCU. This was most scary moment. I was waiting outside for Dr. Answer. Once he came out from the door, so I saw his answer was, he was fine.
Very dramatic, right?
Very dramatic.
Okay, so power of story. So for example, for his video, when I comment, I'll say, okay, Imran, maybe you need to, there's too many abrupt pauses. You stop and then I'm like, okay, what's happening? Okay, but if you just tell it to them when they're presenting in front, they go like, when I made an abrupt pause? You know, like, they think like, did I? It's hard for them to kind of visualize it, but when you actually put it on video, they can play it back and go like, oh, okay, I know what you mean now. Okay, and it's also good for students because students are also learning from their other classmates because the video is available to everyone in that particular class, right? So another video, so that one you saw a full length shot. This is actually only her face, and she's also a part-time student, UH part-time student.
Growing up speaking English, I was not interested in speaking the Chinese language at all. I would be yawning, I would be thinking about other things. It is like if someone comes to you and talk to you about cars or computer gadgets, wouldn't you be disinterested too? Everything was going in from one ear and out the other, which was why I was getting C for my Chinese most of the time. Everything changed when this person came into my life. She was very strict with us. She made sure that we had a dictionary with us, checking on every noun, every word, every adjectives that we could not understand. And when she asked us about the definition of those words, if we could not answer her, then she will reward us with her rota.
So I'll stop you there. So you see the differences between two of these videos. I think both are also good. They have some limitations and some good things about what they did. But students can see, Miss, when you say I need to be expressive, what do you mean? I'm like, look at Jen. She's expressive. You get what I mean? So they know that it's possible to be done. But if you can't see, I mean, we can say she did a good job, but here you can actually see the difference immediately. So they can kind of visualize, because I think our students like to see things. You know, telling them in words sometimes is a little difficult. So kind of, also it helps them in terms of progress. Yeah? When they come and present in front and you go like, you did a good job. This was really, I see you've improved a lot. Yes, miss. Improved a lot. Oh, okay. But they don't really know. They can't really gauge how they've improved. So, but when they see video week 1 to week 2, week 3, then they go like, okay, maybe in the beginning, when they were presenting, they're like that. Then the next week, maybe like that. Then maybe the third week it stopped a little, you know. I mean, so they can see, oh my God, I've actually improved. I can actually see the difference, yeah. And when they see the difference, that's what helps them and motivates them to even work harder. And because they're using our co-faculty, the video, what happens is they always want to do better and better and better. They put you know, they are with their selfies, right? They take their phone, then they take a selfie, correct? So when they take a selfie, you always, even we do that, right? Is our hand the right place? You know, hey, my lip a bit, you know, saying it like that. So, you know, you get nervous and all this. So same when they take these videos, they want to look the best. They want to sound the best. So what does it make them do? It motivates them to do better and better. So each time probably they will take like 5 times, 6 times, I don't know. But it shows that they have the effort to do it because it's easier. They can actually see what they're doing. Sometimes they don't prepare, they just come in front and present like, whatever I have to present. But this way it makes them, forces them to kind of prepare. Okay. So the second takeaway I would say is it saves a lot of time. When someone comes in front and presents, right, and you want to comment, you want to really give constructive feedback. I think this works for other assignments also, right? They've done a good job, but they come to present for marketing or whatever other subject, and you want to give them feedback. But if you spend like 10 minutes giving them feedback, and then you want the other classmates to share their opinions, how many can you do? Maybe 6, maybe 7? You can't. So this really saves time. Everybody gets equal playing field in that sense, you know, everyone gets equal time. So it makes the student also feel very important. Okay, so I'm just going to show you very quickly a rubric assessment that actually complements your skills, because here that's where you put your expert skills to good use, and students can kind of learn how to be an expert. Okay, so for example, the first one, paints a picture and evokes emotions effectively. So students know, okay, if I want to get a good grade for this, I need to not just tell a story, but it should show in my face. The person must feel what I feel. So that way they can also be an expert. They are learning from you, right? So, and they learn from each other. Like I said, oh, that girl has good facial expressions. If this boy is dramatic, maybe I can take the dramatic part. But maybe the pauses, I need to follow her. So they learn from each other. And it's more possible, why? She can do it. I think I can do it too. Lecturer easy lah to say, right? Miss, you how many years miss, that's why. So this way you have someone to actually compare to, yeah? Okay, and it helps them to give feedback, okay? Students in this particular area, what they do is they will give feedback for each video. And you know how students give feedback? If in class you ask them, so what do you think? Okay, miss. What do you think? Not bad lah, miss. What can you get from that kind of comments? Nothing much, right? So we teach them how to become their own critic, okay? And when we do that, this is what we get. For example, very specific comments. Of course, this is a work in progress, yeah? The first time they will come up with, I like your voice. That's it. It sounds, like someone said, it sounds so sexy, that's it. That's as good as it gets, yeah? But as time goes on, they actually learn. I like the way you use your hand gestures when you said. At this point, so the person knows exactly what they're talking about, okay? And when it comes to improving presentations in class, when you ask the students sometimes, what do you think? You want to say something, but you're a bit afraid because that person will feel intimidated if I say that. It's my friend, miss, how can I say that? So I'm going to teach them how to give constructive criticism. So you get comments like this. I think you should pay attention to pronunciation such as this. So they kind of learn how to give this criticism, but in this way they don't feel it to be so intimidating anymore, yeah? So, and they can even give additional comments. I was very drawn into your actions and your pause. Okay? Good job. So you have other people motivating the student. So it's no longer just your job. Okay? And they kind of help each other in this process. Okay? And the final one would be hands-on independent learning. Okay? It's very hands-on, right? They are doing most of the job. You're just guiding them and facilitating, which is what we want to move towards, right? When we talk about future of learning. We want the technology to be an enabler. Technology, I would say, is not every single thing. Okay? And as I mentioned in terms of the videos, right, from week 1 to week 6, I can see my progress. So my confidence level gets higher and higher. And then someone comments on my presentation and says, hey Jen, you did a good job. Bangga. Right? You feel happy because people are commenting on you and people are saying, hey, you've improved in terms of your pronunciation. You know, last time we used to do this, now we don't do it anymore. And it comes from their peers. And what the peer thinks is very important, isn't it, for them? Okay. And I won't talk so much about this, but this is flipped. So what I do is I give them a video, nobody puts baby in a corner. It's quite an old movie. Okay? And then another one is a feel good man, you can't handle the truth. So it's full of emotion and things like that. What I wanted to see is their vocal energy. So when they come to class, they practice their dialogue, and what someone does is, someone from the back, the whole class basically, will say, is the energy level mid-range, higher, should we go lower, what? So someone will say, okay, we need to go higher, vocal energy. Maybe the energy is like, you know, today we have to present about this, like higher. Then the person knows, okay, energy levels are not at optimal level yet, okay? So you flip your class, right, from blackboard to the classroom.